FOJ 41, take 2. Jason, how's it going?
We're still good, and we're still here.
All right. Yeah. A little bit of a technical issue on the first start. We had the offensive line. It moved early. Referee called a false start, and now we're reset, and we're going to start. We're going to start our first play down 10 yards. So 1st and 20. How's it going, Jason?
It's good. The funny thing is, we're not in the preseason. The Bears are, but we're not.
No. We've been doing this 41 times. You'd think we had this down.
You'd think we'd have this down, but I don't know what happened there. But that's okay.
Technology failed, and that's all I have to say about that.
That's okay. That's okay. So we're talking about your lack of doing anything this weekend. And
I didn't do shit this weekend. It was awesome.
How awesome it is. And I did not share that. I did a bunch of stuff this weekend, but we were talking about what is it? New Belgian Brewery in Asheville.
Yeah. Great little location right on the French Broad River, and got a little food truck action. Took one of the dogs with me. Met my wife up there for a little short walk. Got some food, and then that's pretty much it for today. That was today's activity for me.
Nice. Well, I did some work. I finished up. Not totally finished, but I've got my garage pretty much organized now after replacing the door and, 10 years of non-use and all that kind of good stuff. Threw a bunch of stuff away and, so we did all that, watched the Bears game, did some more yard work. I cut down a good chunk of another tree today.
You're just a regular Paul Bunyan lumberjack now.
I know. And then, trimmed a bunch of hedges and trimmed another tree in my front yard, and my pile of dead branches and stuff is growing. I need to start to trim that down and get rid of it because it's almost taller than I am. And that's not a good thing because it's not like I live on, this big monster acre lot. It's just this little backyard that I have, and it's taking up a lot of it. So yeah, not great, but the journey continues.
Joys of home ownership.
That's right.
Well, tomorrow being Monday, theoretically, I'll have someone show up to start fixing the hole in my ceiling. So
hey, nice.
Got that going for me. We'll see if they show up. Who knows? I mean, they're supposed to. We'll see.
Let's hope. We can always hope. But that's good. That's good.
I might get my car back. I'm not supposed to talk about the car, but I might be getting the car back next week Monday theoretically. They called me Friday saying it was ready, so it's been out of commission for 2 months. So hopefully I will get a phone call from some sort of transport company tomorrow to say, hey, we're going to be delivering it around this time. Theoretically,
well,
we'll see.
Without getting too deep into it, obviously, because you can't really discuss it.
That's right. I've been advised not to.
Yeah, I'll say this. I know how badly you wanted this car to work out in the beginning, so I hope that in some way, somehow, that it's fixed and it works. It works great, and I hope it's everything you wanted it to be. We're almost a year into this thing, if I'm not mistaken. So
it'll be November. November will be here. End of November, essentially.
Okay.
But I'd like it to work too. Well, we may be too far for that, but we'll see. I did get to check out. We met some friends out here at another location brewery, or not really brewery. Devil's Foot. They make beer, but they also make sodas and stuff like that. And they had just gotten a Volvo EX30. Which is a brand new EV to the market, just came out.
Okay.
Very cool little car. Kind of reminds me of a Tesla from the interior. So just like the giant middle screen, and a steering wheel, basically, which I like. I like the Spartan sort of Scandinavian design, right? Minimalism, that kind of thing. Very, very cool little car. I didn't realize how quick it is. 3.4 seconds to 60.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of electric vehicles are relatively quick, but most, unless you get like a performance version, you're probably looking at somewhere between 4.5 to 6 seconds. Kind of towards the latter half would be like your regular mill cars, but 3.4 is fast.
If I recall correctly, when you introduced me to your Tesla years ago, first time I don't know, I think it was the first one you had, and you took me for a ride in it, and the first time you punched that thing, I felt like I was going like down on a roller coaster. I mean, there was like a G-force. I felt like that hit me.
That was my Model 3.
Yeah, we took off so fast, and I was like, holy crap.
Yeah. It's just fun to drive. And I'll tell you right now, that feeling doesn't get old. I still love that feeling.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. That was my Model 3. And then I think that one was like a 4.2 second time. But yeah, the Model Y performance I had, I think was like 3.3 or 3.4. That one was really quick. But to have this little EX30, it's a Volvo, the stated speed is 3.4 seconds. I mean, it's a small little vehicle, so it doesn't take much to get it going, but that's still pretty darn quick for any EV at this point.
It's so funny because I remember when we were talking Volvos as kids, they were kind of like just boxy little grocery getters that, you kind of made fun of the Volvo and you made fun of the people who own them, and they were total mom cars and that. And now here we are years later, it's, basically considered a very high class car. It's, a borderline luxury car. I mean, it's up there in status and all that. And now you got the, the EV and all that kind of thing. And it's, Volvos are a big deal. It's funny how they've evolved over time.
I never really considered a Volvo until we got one, maybe probably eight years now at this point. Our first Volvo was a XC40, kind of a little small SUV, sort of on that borderline sort of entry level, luxury kind of upper end, little mini thing. And I never saw myself in a Volvo, and it was most of my wife it was her car, but I'd done the research. So, hey, we should go check this out, and it was just full of smart design. Just like why hasn't anybody thought about that? Like a little latch on the glove box, a little hook to like hang something, like takeout food, or in my wife's case, a purse, right? Like it was built in. You didn't have to think about, stuff like that. And it was just a very smartly designed car. It was a great vehicle. We loved it. I think we went through 2 iterations of that before switching to the gas or the electric version the first year that came out. Boy, was that a shit show. But, Volvo has turned a corner, and, Polestar used to be Volvo's performance kind of brand, and now they've separated out completely into a totally different company. But yeah, Volvo makes some good stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, the Kia that I have, it's a Rio. So, it's their bottom line, total economy car. It's like driving a go-kart. I'm not going to lie. But that thing, I have put about just over 98,000 miles on it in just under 3 years.
That's
so it's a lot of miles. I'll admit, I don't beat it up. I don't treat it like crap. I mean, I keep the oil changed. I, change brakes on it and do all the stuff you're supposed to do. I keep it clean. I vacuum it out every week because, I'm like, okay, I need this car to last. So I figure if I'm nice to it, it's going to be nice to me. And so far, man, that little thing has just been terrific for me. I will definitely, when it's time, and I'm hoping it's not for a while, but when it's time, I will give Kia a serious consideration for any car that I buy in the future. It's been awesome.
Yeah, they make good vehicles. Not bad for a brand like 10 years ago or however many years ago was thought of like cheap import, like good, It
was like a poor man's Hyundai,
Yeah.
And now you see them everywhere. Maybe I notice it more because I own one, but who are you kidding? I own 3, but
that's why you see them everywhere.
I see them in my driveway. But no, 2 of my boys have them, and I have one, and they're fantastic. So I don't even know. Does Kia make an electric vehicle? I don't even know.
Yeah, they make really good ones. EV6 is really good. The EV9 is like a bigger SUV. Kia and Hyundai both make really good SUVs.
I knew Hyundai did. Hyundai did. I did not know if Kia did, but cool.
So if you see a Hyundai Ioniq 5, which is kind of like their little hatchback kind of EV looking thing, looks a little futuristic.
Yes.
The Kia EV6 is the same vehicle with a different shell on top of it. Same drivetrain, same battery, computer, blah, 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 all that stuff is the same. It's just the top shell. And I actually think the EV6 looks way better than Ioniq 5.
Okay.
That was actually in the running. for
Okay.
something to get. Yep.
Yeah, because Kia, they don't make the Rio anymore. They took that out of service after 2024, I think. They don't have the Forte anymore. They now have gone to the K4 and the K5, which are both super nice, and they still make, their SUV. Was it the Sportage and the I forget what their big time SUV is called, but they make some nice cars. So I would definitely be willing to stay within the Kia fam if when the time comes.
Yeah, there's plenty of choices out there for it. What do you look for? What are you going to be looking for in your next vehicle? Like, give me the top 3 features, functionality, and let's just assume that it works is kind of not a feature or a functionality. It should just be there.
Well, so in my current job, I need gas mileage above everything.
Okay. Fuel efficiency.
And my current car gets anywhere from 42 to 47 miles a gallon. So it's great as far as that goes. Comfort, because not all cars, smaller cars tend to, they fit small, but believe it or not, the Rio is very roomy for a smaller car. It's roomy. So I like that. And it's got to have a sound system, dude. You know that. You know how it is. So the Kia does pretty well with that. I could have upgraded if I wanted to. Didn't really feel the need. At the time, I was just desperate for something new because we had a couple of cars that were down. We needed a new car, just for practical purposes. And I was like, okay, just find me something. And if you remember back a couple of years ago, well, it's been almost 3 years. New cars were hard to find. They were not easy to get. Obviously production was way behind from COVID and things like that. It's like I think dealers were more ordering cars, and then as soon as they came in, boom, they were gone. So it was kind of I'm going to take what I could get at that point. Next time around, I'm hoping to be, a little bit more picky. But yeah, gas mileage, comfort, good stereo system. Obviously I want it to look nice, things like that. But that's usually what I look for.
Would you does style, or I guess kind of model, make a difference? Meaning car versus SUV?
Does it make a difference? No. You tend to get better gas in a car than an SUV. I've owned an SUV before. We have, and I like them. We've had we had a Nissan Xterra for years. We had a Jeep Cherokee. Yeah, we did Jeep Cherokee for a while. What I loved about the Xterra, I just thought it was cool, was it had like the in the second row seat, but it was raised. It was almost like bleacher seating, which I thought was kind of cool. We bought that when we found out we were having a third child, and Michelle's little Hyundai Excel at the time wasn't going to cut it.
You needed a school bus at that point.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we did Jeep Cherokee for a while, which I really enjoyed. We've been through a couple of minivans. So I had a Nissan Quest that I really liked when the kids were younger, and we had a Honda Odyssey that I really liked again when the kids were younger. So, minivans, SUVs, cars, been through them all. Now, don't really have the need for a minivan. Obviously, kids are older. We're not running grandkids around anytime soon. So it's just not a necessity. But SUV, yeah, it'd be nice. But again, it's the gas that would really mess me up. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with the good old fashioned car for now.
Okay. I know some people like to sit up higher versus lower.
Yeah,
so
I do.
For me, it's a little bit harder to go. I used to be a car, and then now that I've sat up a little bit higher, kind of like that, it would be hard for me to go back down.
Sure.
Unless it was a super awesome vehicle, something like that. But
I
do like to sit up a little higher from the road.
Yeah, I remember when we were younger, working at Chili's. Remember, I bought that Blazer. You were with me, actually. Yeah. And I bought that, and I had that for a while. And I remember when that thing crapped out, going back to a car, that took some getting used to.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Well, you got CarPlay working in your car now. So
I do.
You got that fixed. I got on your case as soon as we got in the car when I met up with you, whatever it was a couple weeks ago. I'm like, you got just take it to the dealer, get it fixed, dude.
Believe it or not, all I had to do was just reset the car to its factory settings,
and it just started working.
And that did it.
That's great.
So yeah, and it's been awesome ever since. It's like you forgot what it was like.
Mm-hmm. So that's one of the non-negotiables a lot of people have said is they won't buy a vehicle that doesn't support CarPlay or Android Auto, which is Android's version of it. And I can see that because most vehicles, their infotainment system is just a hot mess. It's just a shit show.
Yeah.
So would you buy is something like CarPlay a tiebreaker for you?
CarPlay is nice. It's a luxury. And I think it's one of those things where it's like I had it and then I didn't. Mm-hmm. And it was like, okay, you don't realize how much you miss it until you don't have it anymore. And granted, I got around it, but it was a pain in the ass, because I mean, I could still hook up the Bluetooth and all that, but I couldn't speak to the car to tell it to do something. I couldn't, if I wanted to call somebody, I had to look them up and call them. Granted, it would still flow through the car, but
what is
I couldn't.
1998? Jeez, Jason.
Yeah, I know. Really like I couldn't just hit a button and say, call Jeff.
Yeah.
And, that wouldn't happen. Or, my text messages wouldn't come through, whereas they on CarPlay, they do. So the biggest thing was no navigation.
Yeah. I would say that's probably the number one thing is the navigation is so much better on a phone.
100%. I just have the map on all the time. Mm-hmm. Just because. So
what do you, so given your propensity for CarPlay, what do you make of vendors and what I'm thinking specifically is GM, who all their new cars do not support CarPlay. They have made a conscious decision to not support CarPlay or Android version, Android Auto. Instead, they build their own OS, and they're trying to be like Tesla and Rivian and others who want to control the entire experience. And at least so far from my understanding is they have not yet climbed a mountain to be able to be as good as CarPlay.
I think that's a mistake because, and I'll tell you why. You're talking about GM. GM is more for the common man, however you want to put it, the blue collar. GM is geared towards, a larger portion of the population as opposed to say Tesla or
they've got a lot of brands.
They do. I know they do. But I just think that so many people are going to possibly buy a GM car. So many people either have iPhones or Androids, right? Mm-hmm. You would want something that coexists with that product, I would think. It's just from a convenience factor. I think you would want that. Me personally, I don't ever see myself buying a General Motors car ever again because I've had them and they just don't last. They don't last as long as an import, as a Honda, as a Nissan, as a Toyota. They just don't make it for whatever reason. Obviously, I'm testing that theory with Kia. We do own a Chevy right now. We own a Chevy Spark. It's a 2018. It's got a little over 80,000 miles on it. Michelle drives it, and she doesn't drive it very far to work. So, we've had it for 7 years, and like I said, barely over 80,000 miles on it. And that thing's it's been to Minnesota, it's been to Florida, so it has done its fair share of trips. It's okay. And it supports, I think it was like the first year, it does support Apple CarPlay. You've got to set it up, but it does support it. And, it's fairly nice, but you can, I don't know. They just don't drive the same. And maybe the newer ones do, but to me, they just feel kind of clunky.
So I've had a lot of vehicles, but only one has ever crossed 100,000 miles in my lifetime.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Only one. And it was a GM.
Okay.
My Geo Metro. You remember that piece of shit?
I do remember the Geo Metro.
The only vehicle I've ever had that actually crossed 100,000 miles. And other than, a muffler and, random little routine maintenance type
routine
things,
stuff, sure.
Yeah, never had a problem with it. I mean, it only had 3 cylinders, so there wasn't a whole lot that could go wrong. But
Sure.
yeah, that little thing is the car that has had the most longevity of any car I've ever owned.
Okay.
I mean, now I pretty much rotate every 3 years, kind of roughly based off leases or whatever it may be. But, that one I had for 5 or 6 years, and I put 100,000 miles on that thing. That went all over the place.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, we took that car a lot of
Yeah,
places.
we did a lot. Yeah. I mean, it was pretty bare bones, but yeah, I got a Geo Metro, and my parents, they bought it for me, but it was like they made the initial payment and drove it out. I was responsible for every payment past that. So basically, it wasn't like too much of a handout. And then my brother Charles, he gets a Camaro. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Sucks being the
oldest. I'm not bitter
or
anything. It's all good. Charles, if you're listening, it's cool. He totaled it, and we brought him parts of the plastic to the house of where he totaled it with.
Similar story. So my first car was in 1983 Datsun 200 SX. It was, it was 8 years old when we bought it. Bought it for like $2,700. I paid for probably about 60% of it. My dad helped me out with the rest of it, but it was mine, right? And it's just whatever. So my sister turned 16. What does she get? She gets a convertible Pontiac Sunfire.
Oh, Sunfire. I always wanted one of those.
Yeah, convertible.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't pay a dime for it. And then, like your story, she totaled it. Now, great. I mean, not saying she did it on purpose, an accident, but, she totaled it. And they gave her the insurance money for it. I was like, what the fuck? So very similar story. I feel you on the the oldest kind of thing, but
it's fine.
I will say
character.
It does. I will say this: the car that I did take the furthest was 240,000 miles. It was a Buick LeSabre. It was just like your car your grandmother would drive. And I had that thing for probably, I don't know, about my first 5 years of my Cisco career. I just needed something to get around. I didn't care. And it was like $4,000 at the dealer. And I figured, okay, if I get a year out of it, 2 years, whatever. I drove that thing for 5 years and I loved it. It was a tank. And not the great, the stereo was factory. It had no console in the middle. It was the bench seat in the front, all that stuff.
Geez, yeah.
Yeah. But I drove it everywhere, and that thing was awesome. But when it died, it basically said, Jason, I'm finished. Driving down Interstate I-80, which is the interstate that goes from San Francisco to Atlantic City. Driving down I-80, doing about 75. I am in the middle of 3 lanes, doing about 75 miles an hour with traffic mid-afternoon. The entire car just shuts off in the middle of the highway.
Oh boy.
While I'm driving. I look to my right because I needed to pull over, and there's this huge ass semi right on my right side. I'm like, oh my God. So I just suddenly, just kind of coasted to a stop finally on the shoulder. And basically the car said, that's it. I'm done.
Where were you? Where in I-80?
I was between LaGrange. I was just after the LaGrange Road exit in Illinois. I was heading to a customer.
So you were still, you were like within civilization.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah.
When you said between San Francisco and Atlantic City, I'm like, well, where the hell were you?
Well, I said that for context because I mean, that's like the biggest interstate in the country. Mm-hmm. And, it was in the middle of the work day. I drive I-80 probably 4 times a week. So it's not like it's a big deal to me, but, I had to call another guy in my district. I'm like, I'm just sitting on the side of the road, and I actually walked to the on-ramp where he could pick me up. And, he drove me all the way home, and we wound up getting the car towed, and, the tow company junked it and all that kind of stuff and whatever. But, Yeah, 240,000 miles. I got a lot of mileage out of that car.
That's a hell of a lot of miles.
Yeah, it was my grandma car. So
yeah,
I tend to drive cars till they die, until they're done. Whether, and only once have I had a car that died while I was still paying for it. So overall, my track record's been pretty good. I have had plenty of GM cars. I've had a couple of, I had a Chevy Malibu. Justin
Did you have a
drives
Cavalier at some point?
I had a Cavalier. I had a Blazer. Let's see, I had the Buick LeSabre. I had a Buick Regal that I really liked. It was older. So yeah, I've had my fair share. Yeah, Justin still drives 2012 Chevy Malibu out in Colorado, and he said he's going to drive it till it's dead. So,
So I didn't realize you were such a sports fan that even some of your vehicles have bleacher seats.
The Nissan Xterra, man. Hey, they were, the funny thing is, if you remember that SUV when it came out, those were advertised as bleacher seats. It's not like I called them that. That's what they were called in the car, because the back seat was raised a little, probably about 8 or 10 inches above where the front seat sat, which was interesting. So I loved that thing. We had that thing for a while, and I really enjoyed that SUV.
I didn't realize it had bleacher seats. I don't know how that would even work in a vehicle. I mean, you're giving up headroom if you have bleacher seats.
I think
a certain amount of physics.
There are, but I know it's like the front and then the back were two different, like the roof kind of sloped down. So it was like two different levels on the roof, if you remember. The Xterra didn't last for very long with Nissan. They didn't make them for that long.
Well, I you've got the Xterra, but anytime I hear like bench seating, and that's just a bleacher seat.
Yeah.
So speaking of old things, I do have a public service announcement to make.
A little PSA?
Listeners, a little PSA. So I want people to pay attention. So this is formal notice that on September 30th of this year, so we're about, a little less than 2 months away.
Less than 2 months out. Okay.
The AOL Dial-Up service is ending.
Oh, man.
You're not going to be able to dial up AOL. So the dial-up service will no longer be available on September 30th. Now, tell me the truth. Did you think AOL still operated a dial-up service?
No.
Yep.
So you could still hook up to a modem.
Yep.
And I forget the sound effect, but it was classic. Mm-hmm. It was like, until it connected.
Yep.
And I remember the America. It wasn't even AOL. It was America Online.
Yeah.
The full
mail.
thing. Yes, we had it. I remember we had it. Yeah. I was like, man,
everybody did. America had it. It was
America
Online for a reason. But they've been running a dial-up service all these years. And
dial-up is still out there. Wow.
Yep. So it's for rural. A lot of places, obviously, especially out in the country, do not have cable. And I see more of that here, or broadband, I should say. And so there's a lot of work to try and wire them up. And so when you hear things like, subsidies for rural broadband internet, that's what they're talking about. Like, there are still thousands of people who are still using AOL's dial-up service to get connected and get online.
Wow. Okay.
Now, could they use? They could use Starlink. They could use, other satellite services, et cetera, et cetera. But that blew me away when I saw the headline today. It was like, what do you mean AOL dial-up? Like, why is that still a thing?
Yeah.
So
wow.
Public service announcement. Make sure that if you're still using AOL dial-up service, that you have a backup plan.
I had no idea that still existed. But I will tell you this. For the longest time, my mom and dad still had an AOL email address. In fact, I think
a lot of people still do.
Yeah, I could still call it up. I was just checking. I could still call it up in my phone. They don't have it. My dad does not use it anymore. He has a Yahoo, but for the longest time, they had an AOL address.
Yeah. So if you want to check it out, you can go to getonline.aol.com/dialup, and you can install the AOL dialer. It will take 10 to 15 minutes to download over dial-up. And then make sure you install the AOL Shield browser, which is optimized for older operating systems and dial-up internet connections. So just, courtesy announcement for all of our listeners out there.
Okay. Well, if you want 7 weeks of pure excitement or 7 weeks of pure throwback, dial it up, baby.
Either that or you can call and order a CD for faster installation.
Yeah. 6 to 8 weeks for delivery.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I got like 1 minute of usage time before they shut it down.
Yeah. Please allow 6 to 8 weeks for delivery. That's hilarious. Wow.
So it'll take you 10 to 15 minutes to download the AOL dialer, and then it will take you 3 to 4 hours to download the browser to browse the internet. Again, you can call and you can order a CD for faster installation.
Now, do they still use, I wonder if they still use, what is it, Internet Explorer?
I mean, that's like the default Microsoft Windows browser.
Yeah.
But
is that still a thing?
Internet Explorer is not really a thing anymore. They've replaced it with Microsoft Edge, which is essentially the same browser engine as Chrome by Google.
Okay.
So they're pretty much the same thing now. It's just Microsoft Skin versus Microsoft or Google Skin, whichever one you prefer.
Sure.
And then there's a lot of websites, older ones that are really not secure, that sometimes you run across that like only works in Internet Explorer. And so there's like a compatibility mode. This is mostly for like big companies that built like internal applications that for whatever reason they only work in Internet Explorer. They should all be phased out sooner rather than later. But yeah, Internet Explorer is pretty much dead except for like a compatibility mode.
Gotcha. Yeah, I pretty much work almost exclusively in Chrome.
Yeah.
That's what
a lot of people do. I think
that's
it's like 70% market share of the browser is like Google Chrome. Edge is not bad though. I mean, the new Edge is fine. It's compatible with Chrome add-ons and extensions and all that stuff. It's fine. Got the Copilot stuff built in, and the Chrome has the Gemini stuff put into it. So
I gotta admit, I'm starting to use Gemini more than Google itself.
And you can't really avoid it if you just search. If you've opted into it, the AI results are usually what show up first.
Yeah. If you search something on your iPhone, it seems to AI says this is the first option that shows up. So it's taking over. It's taking over the world.
Yeah. Hey, the FOJ sports machine is built on Gemini. So
that's right.
And we've proved multiple times now what a valuable addition to the FOJ show AI has been by analyzing the trades over the last couple of weeks.
That's right. Hey, if you can't beat it, you might as well join it because, it's been good. So,
okay. Well, I wanted to make sure I got that public service on it. I actually meant to lead with that when we opened up the show, and then we started talking about, I don't know, cars and breweries and all kinds of other stuff. But I wanted to get that out. I know we want to talk Bears.
Yeah, they played today.
Today, Sunday. I totally forgot they were on, so I didn't watch it. I just signed up for NFL Sunday Ticket Friday, I think it was. So I'll have and TV service at large. And oh my gosh, I forgot how much I hate live TV. There's a commercial every like 10 minutes. It fucking sucks.
Yeah. No, I hear you. So yeah, they played the Dolphins, same team that they scrimmaged against a few days ago. And they played to a 24-24 tie. There is no overtime in the preseason.
I think it's the first time in like 52 years or something they've had a tie. It was something like that. Crazy long stat. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So a bunch of the starters did not play. We did not see Caleb Williams. We did not see DeAndre Swift. We did not see Cole Kmet. We did not see DJ Moore. No Roma Dunze. No Zacchaeus. No. What is it? And none of their new offensive linemen played. Although it was interesting. I don't think Amagaje played, but you saw Braxton Jones, you saw Ozzie Trapillo, and then you also saw this, what is it? Theo Benedict from Canada. He's like one of their swing tackles. So the left tackle competition was a thing today. Tyson Bagent started. He played the entire first half. And then you saw Case Keenum and then Austin Reed finished up. Bagent, okay. I mean, he was 13 of 19. He did have a touchdown. He did have an interception that really wasn't his fault. Tip ball that happened to be caught by the Dolphins. 103 yards, but QB rating of 77. He got sacked twice. But Keenum, 8 for 10, 2 touchdowns, 80 yards. Did not get sacked and had a quarterback rating of 139.6. So Keenum was actually, I'm not saying he was great, but he was efficient. And,
he's a veteran, and he's playing the second half of the first preseason game.
Right. You're playing the third stringers at best. So, again, not a lot to see. Now, what I want to talk about, though, is Caleb Williams not playing. I'm surprised a little bit because I would think in a new offense with a new coach and a new, offensive line, just new playbook, all that stuff. I would think you'd want reps from him. A lot of first string quarterbacks played in the first week of the preseason. Mahomes played for a bit. Tua started for the Dolphins today. I think he only played one drive, but Joe Burrow played for the Bengals. Justin Fields played for the Jets. And I know there were others. So what's your thoughts on not playing Caleb Williams today?
I'm okay with it because my understanding is he got a ton of reps before the game, like 70 reps with the starting offense on the receiver side. So I don't know if they were just practicing in preseason warmups or, whatever it may be. So he had already had 70 plays before they even kicked off the game this afternoon or morning.
When they warmed up this morning. Yes,
exactly. Yeah. So I'm okay with it. I mean, at some point, yes, you want to see the players get out there and try to execute something here. I don't know if there is I don't think there's a positive into having him play right now until they figure out, more time, I think, to get the offense linemen set, who is their offensive line going to be until they have more time to look at who there's, the game plan itself. I think it's good for him to sit on the sideline and watch others execute the offense, or at least try to execute the offense and see it in action that way. So I don't care. Part of the reason why I forgot today is because I knew he wasn't going to play. I knew none of the stars were really going to play. It's like, what's the point of, doing that? But I'm okay with it. I do want to see him play at some point, but I don't want him to get hurt and, and mess it up until they're actually ready to show something. Because what's the worst thing that could happen is, the worst thing is he get hurt. The other worst thing is he gets out there and he looks like shit. And all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, this isn't working. He's not the quarterback, blah, 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 blah. There's almost no positive or no upside to him playing this early.
That's fair. I get that. What's his name? Colson Loveland had a catch. He only had, I think he had 2 targets, and I think the other one, Bagent overthrew him. Let's see, Luther Burden, or the third, or LB3 as he's being called. 2 catches, 29 yards. Look good. Their new running back that they drafted, Kyle Monungai, 6 carries, 30 yards. So 5 yards a carry, not bad. The defense, they had 6 sacks today. And what you saw, granted, again, no starters, no Montez Sweat, no Brisker, no Edmonds, no Edwards, no, what's his name? Deo. Was it Adabingo? I don't know how the hell you say his name.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Gervon Dexter, but 3 sacks from Austin Booker, which was good to see.
He leads the league in sacks, man.
Yeah, right. And the good thing I thought you saw was an actual Bears blitz that was effective. They didn't blitz a lot last year, if I recall. Eberflus was not a blitzer. He just didn't do it all that often. But they brought pressure today. And again, hard to tell. I mean, you're probably playing second stringers against second stringers, so you don't really know much. But, they, like I said, 6 sacks. There were a couple of other tackles for loss. The defense, I thought, played pretty well. They did have a goal line stand. But 24-24. And Cairo Santos hit a 57-yard field goal today.
Nice. Big leg.
And if you recall, last year, the concern was, could he hit anything past 51, 52? He made this one from 57 with ease. I mean, there was room to spare.
So he only needs 7 or 8 to break the franchise record. Robbie Gould's most field goals over 50.
Yeah, I didn't realize Santos this is like his 5th or 6th year as their kicker. Because remember, they went through a ton of kickers. Oh, yeah. It seemed like
after the double doink.
But yeah, between Robbie Gould and Santos, but he's been their kicker for a while.
Well, Robbie Gould will still be there if they wanted to pay a kicker, but nobody pays kickers.
Yeah, right. I know.
Yeah.
And did you hear in Jacksonville?
Yes, I was going to say I didn't want to take away from the Bears, but yes, I did. Go for it.
Kicker by the name of Cam Little.
Nothing little about that kick, baby.
Hit a 70-yarder with a couple yards to spare.
Yeah, not much, but there was a little bit of room.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it or saw the replay. Mm-hmm. He nailed that thing. Yep. I mean, there was no chance of it being blocked. It wasn't like a low line drive.
There was a guy diving from the side trying to get it. So this was it's preseason, whatever. But 70 yards, dude.
That thing was blasted. It's unfortunate that because it's in the preseason, it doesn't count as the record. But man,
I mean, it surprises me that they don't try it more often. I get it because the field position swing is huge. If you miss 70 yards, right, you're basically already in the red zone. But end of half, end of game, you see it on the kickoffs. Some of these kickers are sending them out of the end zone still. So why not?
You're kicking from your own 40.
Yeah. So this is potentially game changing because if you have a kicker that can, I don't want to say it's regularity because it's still, a feat to hit over 60, let's call it, right? But you're seeing a lot of long field goals. If you have somebody who can constantly hit over 60, even up to 70 yards, this is on par with the tush push. You go for it every 4th down or as long as you're inside the 50, you're kicking for 3 points.
Oh, yeah.
You're not leaving points on the table.
I think you're going to see a lot of teams, and they talked about it on the broadcast today, you're going to see a lot of teams go for it more than they ever have in the past.
Because of the tush push or because something else?
I feel like that's still a
short yard game.
I think in general, you're going to see more teams go for it on 4th down, whether it's down at the goal line or going for a 1st down, whether it's, 4th and 5 or less. I just think teams are more apt now to go for it because they trust their defense a little bit more and they're just willing to take the risk. So I think you're going to
for that.
I think you're going to see the Bears go for it more because Detroit went for it all the time last year.
Yeah.
I don't
know how I feel about that. I mean, I guess it depends down and situation and team and, do you have a defense that you feel comfortable with? I mean, there's so many variables here. I don't know. I don't know where I feel on that one yet.
I forget the school, but at one point there was a college out there that they never punted ever, no matter where they were at. They never punted.
Bad rules.
Yeah. But hey, it was good to see football this week.
I did watch some. I watched some on Thursday night. Thursday night. That's when I signed up for the service. So Thursday night I saw a little bit of a game.
Yeah, I mean, we got to see what's his name, Shedeur Sanders debut. He actually looked pretty good for Cleveland. Travis Hunter did play a little wide receiver and a little corner for Jacksonville. I know he had a couple catches at receiver. He did not record a tackle.
I saw him miss a tackle.
He did miss. He did miss one. It's going to be interesting to see how they utilize him. I think he's probably better suited to play wide receiver.
Think so?
In the NFL, yeah.
So Herm Edwards, I saw a clip of him talking about how he would only play him on defense.
Really?
Because he feels like he's a game changer on defense because he can intercept the ball.
See, I just think for what that team needs, I think you need him on offense.
I think you need him in more one position. I think you need as many players that can play football as you can for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah. Hey, if he had it his way, he'd start both ways.
Yeah.
And at some point it may come to that. He may get there. I think it's awesome. I think it'd be really cool.
I think it's great. Yeah.
Yeah. To see a guy, want to play both ways and play it well. I mean, hell, I remember Dion when he when he was playing both ways, I mean, he was just a slot receiver for Dallas sometimes. It's not like he played every snap, or I think Charles Woodson played some receiver for the Packers on occasion. But I think it'd be awesome to see a guy play both ways almost every down. Obviously, you got to come out every once in a while, but just, play 100 to 120 snaps in a game. That's crazy, but I think it'd be awesome. Yeah.
That's going to shorten a career, though. That was a part of Herm Edwards' thing, too, was you're not going to play as long if you're playing that many snaps a game.
Probably. Yeah. You can't. Imagine playing 100. Yeah. Let's see. 100 snaps a game, 17 games. So that's 1,700 snaps. Imagine playing that trying to do that for 15 years. No way.
But imagine the fantasy leagues. If you're on an individual defensive player league and you pick up him and you've got him at wide receiver, and let's say he's even just a decent wide receiver, or maybe you pick him as a corner and he's getting wide receiver stats. I mean, that's going to blow out a whole bunch of stuff for stats.
Well, he's going to be their number 2 receiver, right? I mean, they have what's his name? Brian Thomas. I would think so. They have Brian Thomas, and then they have him. Who else do they have? I don't even know.
I don't know. I mean, if they're playing him on defense, for me, it's hard to be a number 2 wide receiver if you're not always out there. And if he's playing,
I agree.
Defense, then that means is he primary offense and then defense is just a couple snaps a game? I don't know, but I don't know.
I don't know. It's good.
They got some things to figure out. It almost creates a problem that you don't need.
It does. It's going to be an interesting thing to follow. Let's put it that way.
And he wants to play both. So
he does.
How long, how long until personality gets into this? Because wide receivers are known to be great divas, and so are cornerbacks. And what if you're both?
Yeah,
he's like, I want to be a Phil all the time. So I don't know. We'll see. I think it's a really interesting experiment because it just hasn't happened in a very long time. Somebody who's good enough to play at a high level on both sides.
Yeah, it's a great story. It'll be fun to keep watch on that. Let's see, the Bears. Let's see, they have Buffalo at home next week, and then I think they have to go to Kansas City for their last 2 preseason games, and then there's a week off, and then they debut on Monday night versus Minnesota. So,
okay,
Minnesota. From what I saw, JJ McCarthy started. He was I mean, there was some good, some bad. I watched a bit of the Packers game. Packers did not look good at all in the beginning. They were playing the Jets. And as Jeremy, he and I were watching the game together, he said, it's always good to see the Packers in midseason form. Yeah. So, Love didn't look all that great. The defense didn't look that great. Justin Fields led the Jets on a touchdown drive, his first drive. And I think he ran for the touchdown, if I'm not mistaken.
Did you see the entire play?
Yes.
So here's what I liked about that play was I think it was the running back coming out from behind, and he ran kind of like a little curl flat, like a what do you call it?
Yes.
Like a flat and then a go route, right?
Yeah.
Up the sideline. And he pulled that linebacker with him, faking the entire way like he was about to catch it over his shoulder. And I was really impressed by that running back who totally sold the play. Yeah, because that linebacker probably had responsibility for the flat area, and he took the linebacker with him.
Yeah, no, that's a great.
If you get a chance, if you're listening to this and you didn't see it, check it out because it's one of those things that happens away from the ball that totally made that happen.
It's be interesting to see how the Jets do. I mean, they have a new coach, defensive coach, but Aaron Glenn was a player for the Jets for like 8 years. So it's be interesting now that he's their head coach to see how guys respond to him. I mean, the Jets have been shit forever, right? Yeah. And they've been dying for something. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. Be interesting to see how Fields does, knowing
I'll root for him. I hope he does well.
I hope he does too. What's going to be nice is he doesn't have Russell Wilson looming, like he did in Pittsburgh. Right. So I mean, the job's his. I don't even know who else they have as a backup. So
I don't think it matters if he's gone.
No.
I think there's probably a steep enough drop where it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yep.
Although, you know who did play in the preseason? I forget for what team, but our quarterback ultimate journeyman, what was his name? Josh Johnson?
Josh Johnson.
Yes, he started for somebody.
So I mean, yeah, I can see it starting first game preseason.
Yeah,
like not...
he's still in the league, still playing. I don't know if it's the team he played for last year, but
probably
still
not
out there.
I mean, just given the track record, probably not.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of trivia for you.
Okay.
There is one, as far as I'm aware, there's one defense in the league for the NFL averages more than 10 fingers per player. Which team is that?
Okay, so there's obviously a guy on a defense somewhere who has a sixth finger on his hand. Takes me back to ex-Cubs pitcher Antonio Alfonseca, who also had 6 fingers on his hand. Anyway, boy.
He's a draft pick from this year.
Draft pick of this year.
I believe it was this year. Let me look it up. But
AFC or NFC?
NFC.
NFC. Okay, I obviously do not have the slightest idea of who this is. So I'll just throw some teams out there. Let's see. Let's go with the Eagles.
Nope. But
Vikings.
Nope.
Okay.
It's the Carolina Panthers.
Okay. Oh, so you're going to say same division.
Yeah. JJ Weaver is a Panthers linebacker who was drafted, who has 6 fingers. And so
on each hand.
Just one.
Oh, that's
weird. He has one hand with 6 fingers. And so there is some trivia for you to say, whoever's listening, they'll have to know this. Now, what's great is, what I don't know, and this is probably something that's worth researching, is if there are any other players on the Carolina defense who have less than 10 fingers to balance this out. Who was the linebacker or the lineman from New York who blew off his finger in the fireworks?
Yeah, I was just thinking of that. He was there for a while.
Yeah. And he had like the club.
And he had the club. Oh, who was that? And he was good too.
Yeah, he was real good. Yeah. So that was the first thing when I told this to my wife, she's like, "Well, better not. If the only way that ever averages out is those 2 players are on the same team."
Oh, who was that? I'm gonna try and look it up while we're talking here. But man, I do remember when that happened.
Paul.
Yes, JPP. That's right.
Yep. He blew off his finger and part of a thumb.
Yes. So basically, he was playing with 3.5 fingers.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
So there's a little trivia for you. I don't know if there's any other 6-finger players, but I kind of hope he kind of leans into it, and if he plays defense, so if he gets an interception, maybe the announcers or something like, "Hey, there goes the 6-finger bandit with another interception," or something like that.
Well, I remember a couple of years ago, I think it was Seattle drafted a guy who was actually missing a hand.
I think he still plays. Yep.
I think he does still play. I forget where, but good player.
Shaq Griffin, I think it was.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
And I think he had a twin brother who also plays, but yeah.
Yep. Let's see. No, he is no longer in the NFL. He retired in August of 2022.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. So
I know he played for a couple of years.
Do you think there's going to be jokes if Weaver gets called for holding?
Defensive holding?
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't want to make that a situation. Obviously, he's an NFL player, so it hasn't hindered him at this point. But
I think the easy one is he's going to get called for illegal hands to the face, or what is it? Face guarding.
Oh, yeah, face guarding. Yeah.
Yes.
The heckling. There's opportunities there. I'm sure he's heard everything at this point.
I'm sure he has. There's probably a higher probability of a face mask penalty with him than with anybody else. So yeah.
Yeah,
that's funny. That is funny.
Speaking of NFL, I did watch Quarterback, as we talked about last week. I had not seen it yet.
What'd you think?
I watched the entire season 1 and season 2. There's only 2 seasons. So I watched the whole thing all week. So I binged it. I had it on. It was great. I took some notes along the way. All right, I'm going to give you my review on it.
Let's talk about it.
One, it was a very good series.
Yes.
The presentation was great. It was, it had that Hard Knock style, but it was more focused, obviously, on one player. So you can kind of follow the storyline a little bit better rather than kind of jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
And the first season was Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and Marcus Mariota.
Yes.
Mariota was so forgettable.
Oh, totally.
If I had to associate a flavor with Marcus Mariota, it would be vanilla. Because there was nothing to his story, his personality, nothing was memorable. Just a dud.
It's funny because I agree with you 100%. And it's like Netflix realized, okay, Mariota isn't playing.
Yeah, there's nothing here.
So we're just gonna basically stop with Marcus Mariota.
He was less of a focus in the later episodes, but
he was thanks for playing.
He was such a dud. Jeez.
Yes. Thanks, Marcus. Appreciate it.
Mahomes was cool. You can kind of see the fire from it. My God, is his wife shrill and annoying?
Oh my God. She's so.
I'm sure she's a nice person. Blah blah blah, whatever. But I just couldn't take it anymore. But you can see what sets Mahomes apart from other players, just the work ethic he's got. But I gotta tell you, I am a new fan of Kirk Cousins.
Oh, how could you not be?
How can you not? I mean, I never cared for him before. All I knew was that you like that, right? And what's this dumbass who injures his neck headbutting the wall after touchdowns? Whatever. Sounds like an idiot. So I knew nothing about him. But my gosh, I don't know how you can not root for Kirk Cousins after you see him on quarterback.
I just appreciate a guy who, plays the position that he does, but is not a total egomaniac like most of these quarterbacks are. And I know you kind of have to be to a certain extent to.
You have to be confident, that's for sure. But there's a difference between confidence and being an asshole.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Cousins he is a rare dude.
Yeah. Just a super good dude, right? I mean, it's really no him going to cookouts after a game with
right?
brother and friends who show up once a year, I guess, and kind of dress up and kind of try to surprise him with something, right? I thought that was such a cool moment. And then they were singing a song. I don't remember what it was. And I was like, okay, there's just a little clip of them singing one part of a song. I don't remember what it was. Was it Cher or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. They're singing, but they're singing in the car in the drive-thru for cookouts on the way home from a Falcons game. And it goes on for a good 2.5, 3 minutes. They sing almost the entire song until his son from the back seat starts saying, "Can you guys stop?"
Yeah, that was funny. So, and I love how when they get to the drive-through and they talk to the person who was working there. Are you a Falcons fan? They're like, no.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I was at the game today. She clearly had no idea.
Had no clue
who
he was.
Yeah. But yeah, they were singing Cher in the car, him and his brother. And I was like, all right, I'm a Kirk Cousins fan, having watched the first season now of quarterbacks. I was like, all right, that's cool.
Yes.
Second season was okay. Jared Goff, Joe Burrow, and the third quarterback.
It was Cousins.
Was it Cousins again?
Yes, Cousins was in both seasons.
Because it talked about him being benched and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what it was. Again, I liked what I saw from Jared Goff. Joe Burrow, what a weird personality for a quarterback. Did not expect it. Almost robotic.
Almost robotic, but a little eccentric, I think.
A little, which is fine.
A little out there. I mean, obviously, he's got some fashion sense to him. Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
He's not a guy who dresses them, which, hey, cool, whatever, that's fine. Which is interesting, considering the juxtaposition with Kirk Cousins and him dressing like the whole thing is like, oh yeah, you got that at Kohl's, right, or something like that.
Lives in this big monster house all by himself, I assume, because they never talked about a significant other of any kind. I don't know if that was by design or he didn't want that or whatever. But I mean, the guy plays video games with his buddies every Monday night. I thought that was cool, and he's a gamer. And
you can see where the Joe Cool nickname
comes from,
because he is just I don't want to say like quiet, because he definitely speaks up in games and stuff like that, but just had a very non-flashy way about him, I thought. I mean, dude tried to buy a Batmobile and then his house gets robbed and decides to figure out other things. Like, that sucks. But yeah, very eccentric is another good word for sure. But yeah, it was just like, okay, like he's a really good player, but not at all the personality that I would see from the outside.
Yeah, and what I thought was interesting was when they went into the Bengals locker room and after wins, after games, you'd see Goff address the team, you'd see Cousins address the team, talking about wins, blah blah. Burrow doesn't say anything to the team as a whole, as the captain, as the quarterback, as, hey, great win, blah blah blah. And his coach, they don't show his coach, Zach Taylor, acknowledging anything that he did in any of the games, he didn't get game balls or anything like that. I mean, Dan Campbell obviously loves Goff, and, Cousins was, a big deal in Minnesota. And then while he was playing well with Atlanta, he was a big deal for them. But yeah, Burrow just robotic is a great description of him and his situation. I think it's almost like, yeah, Joe Burrow's our quarterback. He's what do you call him? The best player on the planet. But that's that's expected, and that's what we expect, and that's what goes out and happens. And if the Bengals had any kind of defense at all, they would be Super Bowl contenders every stinking year. Because, I think you can make an argument that Burrow, I'm not going to say he's the best in the game, but he's definitely in the top 3
as a passer for sure. I would say him, Josh Allen. It's hard to not have Mahomes in there and just give him the track record.
Those are the 3 I was going to say.
If I was building a team and he's available, I would take him.
Hell yeah. Sure. Granted, when you're throwing to Jamar Chase, who arguably is the best receiver in football, and you got Higgins on the other side, you got, that makes things a little bit easier. But yeah, robotic is a great word for it.
It was just really interesting. It wasn't the personality that I expected, just that quiet kind of assurance, I think, that he has, which, hey, cool, good for him. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I'm not saying it in a negative way. It wasn't what I expected, but as a whole, the series was fantastic. So good recommendation. And now I'm done with it, and I got to find something else.
Well, what did you think of, and I find this to be interesting because I think Jared Goff's wife, and I think her name is Kristen.
Something, yeah.
Almost not quite as much, but had the annoying factor of Brittany Mahomes to a certain extent.
I don't even think it was even close.
No, I'm not saying. Brittany was off the charts annoying.
Yeah,
but what's her face? Kristen Goff had a little of that in her. You could just tell. Obviously, being the quarterback's wife is probably is different than anything else. Mm-hmm. But I will say this: Kirk Cousins, his wife, is like, he's the All-American quarterback. She's the All-American quarterback's wife. What the thing that struck me about Cousins is when he got benched at the very end of the series, and his wife reacts, and she's all upset, and obviously kids are asking questions and things like that, and is daddy on the team anymore? They kick him off, blah blah blah, because they didn't understand. But then she goes and finds Cousins, calls Michael Penix immediately to basically, even though I'm benched, I'm turning over the job to you. The job's yours. And you could just see the pride in his wife. And I forget her name. Whatever her name was. And I'm sorry, but
while we're talking here.
Yeah. I want to say it was Julie. Yeah. Okay. When she said that, hey, that's the kind of guy that Kirk is.
Yep.
That didn't surprise me one bit.
No.
Yeah. That's the key takeaway is what kind of dude Kirk Cousins is. Although it was real quick. It was hilarious watching him play football with his kids in the basement. And then it was even better watching him coach 6-year-old flag football and worry about time management at the end of the game.
You know what I like for that? I like you did what I told you to do.
Yeah, I like that you didn't score when I told you not to.
Right. Yeah.
That's
no, like I
hilarious.
said, I am a Kirk Cousins fan, having watched that. Just seems like a super nice dude. We talked about this personality of being a backup quarterback and some players, not being a mentor type role. He's the kind of person that absolutely, now he's got 200 million reasons to do it, so good for him. But he's the kind of personality that I see staying in the NFL, being a coach. I think, he'll figure out at some point that, he is not a starting quarterback anymore and would be open to being a backup and a mentor and stuff like that to some young guy. Maybe it's Penix, maybe something, but I'm rooting for him.
I think it's one thing to take on, excuse me, that responsibility for a new team. Like, okay, I'm not the starter for Atlanta.
Different,
I'm going to go sign somewhere. But to lose your job in the middle of a season, while you're still competing for a playoff spot, we forget that they were still in it when they made that change. And to not pout, not, make a big stink about it in the press or to anybody on the team, and just to, call the guy that's taking your job and saying, I support you, and then helping him out in practice and all that kind of stuff, to do that, it takes a special kind of character to pull that off.
Yeah. Just a good dude. I mean, if you haven't seen it, if you're listening, go. If you have any interest at all in NFL, it was a great series, a good recommendation. And I'm a Kirk Cousins fan. I'm pulling for the guy.
Nice. There's another one, and I think there's only one season. I haven't watched it yet, but there is one on Netflix. It's called Receiver. It's the same type deal. Just I think they follow 3 receivers. I don't know who the receivers are, but I'm assuming it's probably the same type thing. So probably pretty good.
Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh, wow. Well, if you're gonna pick 5 receivers in the NFL, although 4 and 1 tight end, it's a pretty good group right there.
Yeah, came out last year, so I'll check it out.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure George Kittle is a riot, right on the field. I don't know how he's not off the field.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, he's a character. So, the other TV thing we discussed last week,
South Park. Did you watch it?
I did. Not only did I watch the infamous episode that everyone's talking about,
did you watch?
I did watch this week.
I did too. Yeah. Special last night.
So, couple of questions.
Okay.
I did follow along. I did, figure out who's who and, all that kind of stuff.
You've never seen South Park before, right? Or at least
I've never really watched it. I've obviously heard of it, and I've heard, various references to characters and things like that. So some of that was pretty easy to pick up. I mean, most of it was concentrated on the plot of the story and not some, the character interaction or whatever. So my first question, so that show, this is what, the 27th season, if I'm not mistaken?
27. Yep.
So that show's been on for 27 years. Or do they do seasons, like multiple seasons within a calendar year?
No, I think they do one per year, but I don't know if they've had a string of 27 straight years, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But they have 27 seasons, whatever that means.
Okay, my first question is that show that off the wall racy all the time?
I think it has kept the level up for that time. Yes. When it first came out, it was nothing else like it on TV.
Okay.
These little kids who were swearing and racist.
Right.
And, Cartman was a whole thing before that. Now, society has gotten, and TV in general has sort of matured as well alongside that. So I feel like if the bar was, here and South Park was like a few steps ahead of that, as the bar raised, South Park has always been a few steps ahead of like where the bar was for most people.
Sure.
Yeah. So I would say there was nothing that I saw on that was like, oh yeah, that's not a South Park thing. Like that's new. Like, oh, I was impressed and shocked at how brutal it was of an episode. They allowed it to happen considering the whole Paramount and FCC thing that was in the wings.
Well, that was going to bring me to my next question. So obviously I've been trying to think all day about how I was going to address this with you.
Yeah.
From a strictly comedic standpoint, no politics at all, but just for the comedy factor, I'll admit, and I've told you, I'm not a big cartoon guy. It was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
It was
really funny.
From a comedy standpoint, it was hilarious. Also, really well done as far as getting Trump's face and his.
So that's the first time they've ever, not the first time, but they rarely will use a real face.
Well, just
usually
his various
character.
His facial expressions, were very interesting. Okay,
Come on,
but they were all but they were all spot on to what was going on the episode, right?
Look, you've got a plethora of images that you can take from. He is a very demonstrative face for a variety of different reasons. So yes. So that is somewhat rare to use the real face on somebody. Usually they'll do a character kind of like they did with Carolyn Levitt, the press secretary.
Yes,
they did not use her real face. They only did it for Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, shock factor. That was huge. I did not know that there was a TV show out there that would go after somebody as hard as they did. And not only did they create this, but it's allowed to be on television. And I know I
am shocked. Yep.
I know it's cable. I understand it's not like it's network or, anything like this. So FCC doesn't really come into play, but I guess I'm just surprised that anybody would have the guts to put something that racy against the president, the office of the presidency. Okay.
It's not the first time.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask you. Have they taken on presidents before?
They have taken on a number of social things. So this is not we just did this because of who's president now. They have done this in the past, but of course, and they go through and make fun of societal issues and blah, blah, blah. That's kind of the whole thing, is kind of the hypocrisy of what's going on. And it's funny, and it's usually very well written, and
it was very well written.
I don't want to say like smart humor, but it is crisp humor.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's 100%.
It's doing a great job of playing on the real world and showing kind of how ridiculous in a kind of cartoon format, right? It's like taken to the nth degree. Obviously, the stuff that happened in the episode are not things that happen in real life, but you can kind of extrapolate, right? And I know we're going to talk about the second episode because I just watched it the other night. And they certainly leaned into Kristi Noem hardcore in that one.
That was, oh my God. We'll get into that in a second. So finish your first thought.
This is not new. What I am totally with you. I am shocked that it made air and is streaming still the way that it is, given how brutal of an episode it was. I mean, there is nudity, which is hilarious. And, it was like, okay. And
I forget which episode it was. There's obviously the cartoon nudity, but there's also the AI generated
at the end
Donald Trump's naked ass on, as he's dying in a desert somewhere or whatever.
Not just ass, full frontal on that one too.
If you look at the right time,
AI video and stuff like that. But like I said, when I told you about this is a absolutely brutal episode.
That was a total jaw dropper. I was like, I kept thinking, and regardless of who it is, take the fact that it's Donald Trump out of it. I'm just thinking, holy crap, this is the president of the United States, and they're depicting his naked ass on television here, and I'm just like, holy crap. I
haven't laughed that hard in a very long time.
I was more shocked and blown away. Yeah, I'll admit, I had a lot of laughs at it. I think I was laughing.
That's okay. It's a comedy. It's supposed to be ridiculous.
Well, that's the thing. I can't. I think I more laughed at the fact that I'm like, I can't believe this is what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Like I had heard like, okay, this is pretty bad. Like, just like shocking and stuff like that. But oh my gosh, my wife and I sat there. We watched it over dinner, and we were shocked and laughing at the same time. I'm like, how did this get on air? Like this is, and it, we're fans of it. Obviously, the caricature is larger than life, and so there's a lot of kind of content to draw from. But again, it's still streaming, and this was, what was it, like a couple nights after we found out Colbert was canceled.
Yeah, it was July 23rd, I think,
something like that,
what
right?
it was.
And they had just gotten $1.5 billion of the B. We talked about this last time, right? To make another 50 episodes, of this. So this show is not going anywhere soon unless somebody shuts them down. Like this is what they do, is they constantly needle whatever happening in real life, politics, news articles, like all kinds of stuff. It's not just politics. They go through everything. So this is, again, this is not unique to Trump. This is what they do. What the uniqueness is, for me at least, was, and not having seen it in a while, was just how brutal it was.
How far,
and the AI thing at the end, the video and the whole "he gets us" thing was like, oh my gosh, like,
very, very clever.
Very,
he gets
very
us.
Clever.
He gets all of us. And then
it was good.
This week's episode,
Christine and Ice.
Yeah,
gotta get that.
And I will admit this. I think it was hilarious how about every 4 minutes her face melts and they bring in the crew to put her back together. And I just thought that was freaking hilarious. And I guess she said she saw it and she publicly said, well, I know I've made it because,
everybody's trying to lean into the joke and be like part of it and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I get it. But
it was brutal for her too. And her shooting dogs every like 3 minutes on screen. And the whole credit scene. Did you see the credits?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Her walking into, a pet shop and just all you hear is gunshots and dogs barking.
Yeah, I'll admit that is unlike anything I have ever seen before in my life.
Mm-hmm. The last time I can think of it was something brutal was Saddam Hussein was another one that they did with the real face.
Okay.
And so that's where the Satan thing comes from. So that was a reference to Saddam Hussein the last time, because Saddam Hussein and Satan also had like bed scenes and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so there was kind of, a linkage back there, but yeah. And the movie is hilarious too. There's a movie for this that's fantastic.
Oh, South Park the movie.
Ago. Yeah. It's
I think I remember
longer and uncut or something like that. But it's brutal, and that's more, I think, U.S. versus Canada, like that kind of thing. But
okay.
Yeah, that was funny too when that came up.
Yeah, from a creativity standpoint and from, taking material from what's going on in the world these days, I thought it was it was solid.
It was funny.
I'm not sure I'm going to watch it on a weekly basis, but I'm glad I did, because let's just say I was impressed.
Yeah. It's a good show.
Creative.
Again, I haven't watched it in, a long time, but now it's to the point where it's like, okay, what are they going to do next week? Like, what topic are they going to hit?
Yeah.
And, lampoon. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. I thought it was, like I said, it was funny,
Yeah,
regardless of who the characters were, but it was funny.
I took it for what it was. Yeah, I took it as entertainment, and I'll admit, like I told you, there were a couple times where I'm just like, I can't believe that this,
I feel the same way.
The presidency is subject to this. So that's why I asked you if this has happened before.
I'm sure it has. I can't think of specific president things, but when you have a wealth of content to draw from, it makes it easy. But again, the social aspect of them going after social issues and politics and whatever's happening in the world they've always done that.
Well, let's just say I always thought Saturday Night Live does a really good job of the politics scene, and they cover elections, they cover presidencies, all that kind of stuff. But this was like to the 10th power, man.
Yeah,
obviously, you can't put this on network television. But
well,
yeah,
I
it's
wonder
good.
if there's like a legal thing that because it's an animated cartoon that there is more ability for I don't want to say creativity, but more latitude in what you can say do. Because I mean, you saw in that episode, right? Trump's like, I'll see you. It was like his whole thing was like their entire thing. Right.
Right.
And he is a very litigious person. And so
Yes.
I can't imagine that they did this without knowing that that was a possibility. And I wonder if animation makes it more like, yeah, this isn't real. And so what are you actually suing? You know what I mean? Like libel laws and stuff like that. I don't know.
Maybe, but they're still using his face, his real face.
But it's in a ridiculous scenario.
Yeah,
Cartoon
that's in the
body,
gray.
I mean,
yeah, that's the gray area, right?
Right.
So I mean, obviously, I think they probably know, and I would think their legal team probably researched it.
Exactly.
You would think,
that's what I'm thinking. That's why the same way I think like Comedy Central is not stupid, right? They have the Daily
Right.
Show. HBO has John Oliver's thing. Like they're not stupid. Like
right.
They will research things to the nth degree to make sure that they are covered.
Yeah. Well, I mean, political satire has been going on for 150 years.
Yeah.
So
and it needs to be there because that's the whole point of democracy and free speech, right? So if you start to say, well,
absolutely,
I don't want that, then what are we doing here?
So let me ask you this. How did you, knowing that I had watched it, how did you think I was going to react?
Honestly, I wasn't sure.
Really?
I thought that you would struggle with it or turn it off because I don't know, because for whatever reason, you either didn't understand it or didn't understand the context or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I really didn't know how you would react to it. And also the fact that you had not really seen it before. So if that's the first episode you've ever seen, it's kind of hard to, right. Are they all like this? Is this something new? Right. Stuff like that.
Sure.
And when you ask all the questions, I honestly, I wasn't sure. I'm glad you watched it.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Hey, I've told you many times.
The second one was like, oh, okay. So there must have been something there if you want to watch the second
I've told you many times. I'll give anything a chance. No problem. No problem. But I thought it was really well done for what it was.
Yeah. So see what they come up with next.
Yeah.
That's what they're good at. They're good at staying relevant and in the news. So we'll see. I don't know what their next episode is, but I didn't think the Kristi Noem episode, the ice one, was as good as the first one, but the first one was.
No, it wasn't.
Almost like an instant classic.
Yeah. I mean, the second one, obviously, again, for what it was, a lot of comedy in there. Mm-hmm. They attacked her about as badly as you could.
Almost too much, because I think it was supposed to be an episode really against ice, but her being sort of the figurehead of it, and what do they call her, Ice Barbie or something like that?
Yeah, exactly.
But
just the face melting every 3 minutes was hilarious.
And then the sound effects as they put it back together, like buzz saws. And
oh yeah,
like a pit stop for cars.
Yeah, like 10 guys throwing tools up in the air, and all kinds of, yeah.
And then the face crawling all over, and just again, ridiculous and stupid. I was there for it. It was good.
Oh yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. So I had one other thing that I did this weekend of doing nothing. Okay. We were very excited on Saturday to meet some friends and go to this. I guess it's a brewery, Devil's Foot. They make like beer, but also like sodas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they had a new food truck to the area there, touting their Chicago Italian beef.
Ooh.
Yes, exactly. Right.
Ooh, okay.
And so
you being a former Chicagoan.
Exactly.
Yes.
I've said it before. There is nothing like Portillo's here. The hot dogs aren't good. The burgers are like stuff like that. There's really not an Italian beef to kind of speak of. There isn't like beef sandwiches or anything like that. And so to have a food truck here that was, it was called Bricks something or other. And it's supposed to be like a Chicago food truck. So hot dogs, Italian beefs, etc. And they had basically, I don't know if it was they rented it out or something, but they were doing like a kind of a coming out party. Like, hey, we're going to be here all day, 4 hours. There's going to be a DJ and blah, 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 right? All this stuff, right? And it's like, oh, that's cool. So Barb got off work, so I met her there about 3 p.m. They were there starting at 1, I think. And We get there at 3:15-ish, I think. And, meet up with some friends, start talking with them, and then start to figure out what we want to eat. And we go up to the food truck.
Okay.
And they're out of Italian beef.
Bro.
Right.
Oh.
What the fuck? So, first of all, that's a rookie mistake. Because your whole thing is like Italian beef and your sandwiches and, blah, blah, blah. And you're putting on this event. And by all accounts, it was not busy. Like, we asked our friends who got there at 1.
Sure.
It's been kind of like this all day. And it was not like a standing room only thing. It was maybe 50 people spread out at any given point, kind of between like inside and outside and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
How do you run out of Italian beef?
Wow. Especially when you know that that's
Right.
not like a known commodity there.
Yeah. And that was like the thing. And they had leaned into the whole Chicago thing. Everyone at the bar and like were wearing like Chicago things, and they had literally. I'm like, what is on TV? I asked my wife on it. They were literally just showing scenes of Chicago, like the skyline and traffic and stuff like that. Like it was just like a Chicago screensaver, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no Italian beef.
That is
so they had Polish sausage and they had hot dogs left.
Well, this screams dumbass of the week.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Brick's food truck. You blew it.
Just definitely.
Dumbass of the week. Now, I did get a hot dog, and it was very good. Best hot dog I've had down here.
Was it Vienna beef? Do you know?
It was Vienna beef.
That's
why. A poppy seed bun.
Yes.
But it was a grilled poppy seed bun, not steamed.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, so, I can get on with that.
Hot dog was good. Now, I'm a traditionalist. I believe a hot dog should stand on its own. Does not need any accoutrement, no condiments, nothing.
Okay.
If a hot dog is good, you should be able to eat just bread and hot dog and be fine with it. Personally, I like some onions, some raw onions on it. Perfect. I'm good with that. They could not do that, even though they had grilled onions on the Polish sausage. And so I was like, how about you just don't grill the onions?
Yeah.
And that seemed like that was maybe too much to kind of put into the equation. So we got a hot dog and some kettle chips, which are potato chips.
Hot dog plain.
Hot dog plain, because it came with like relish and jardiniere and sport peppers and stuff like that. It was a Chicago-style hot dog.
Chicago style.
Okay. Yeah. Right, yeah. And a couple people with us, my wife got one, and they said it was fine. Too much, like, stuff on it. So they were, like, scraping off, relish and stuff like that off it, because it was just too much. It looked good, but it was too much. But the fact that they couldn't do raw onion when they had grilled onions for the Polish sausage kind of was like, all right, well, that's kind of interesting. But the hot dog itself was good. Potato chips were terrible. So we're going to give them another shot next time they come to the brewery by our house here, which is like a mile away. But yeah, dumbass of the week is not having enough Italian beef for your party that you've been promoting to get people to come out and realize there's a new food truck on the scene. It's Chicago style, and to run out of like your number one item, literally after only 2 hours, just didn't make sense to me.
Well, okay, well that says to me that the Italian beef was really good. I don't know.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I mean, did it advertise a brand of Italian beef that they were using, or
no, I don't think so.
Okay, because there's multiple.
Know. Yeah,
there's multiple different kinds, obviously, for up here. Italian beef is one of those things that the tastes are so. There's just a huge array of taste profile for Italian beef, right? Mm-hmm. Portillo's obviously is a distinct flavor. Bona is a very distinct flavor. Al's very distinct. They're all different. Pops, they're all just different. Yet they're all Italian beef. So, that is so disappointing, man.
Yeah, it's called Brick's Original Dip and Roll Italian Beef. And beyond, apparently.
And it's just a food truck, or do they have an actual restaurant?
Nope, food truck. I mean, there's tons of these out here, and the food truck scene here is great. I had it today.
So sure. Okay.
Yeah. chicken and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then their tagline and then find us on Facebook as built from the grind, fueled by the dip, bold, beefy, and unapologetically stacked, serving up Chicago-style Italian beef, dogs, and crave-worthy originals straight out of Asheville.
Well, they need to apologize for unapologetic my ass. They owe you an apology, man.
They do. They posted on their Facebook profile, and they use the Harry Carey, Will Ferrell. You don't think, hey, if you were a dip and roll, would you eat yourself?
Hey,
right,
yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So
again, I'm
first chance. I think it's new. I don't think they've. Okay, it's literally like a brand new food truck on scene, so they kind of made a big deal out of it, and to run out of your primary item seems like a big miss. I'm going to put this right up there with Chili's not having queso for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah, I agree. So I love a good, like you, I love a good hot dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird because like when I go to like a game, like a football game or baseball game or something like that, like you, hot dog plain, bread, hot dog, that's it. And it's usually like wrapped in foil, and you open it up and it looks like
you've mashed it a little bit because you're carrying that and maybe a drink or something.
Yeah, you open it up, it's been to hell and back, all that kind of thing, but it tastes awesome.
That's right. It built character on the way to your seat.
Yeah. But when I'll admit, you're gonna laugh. So I am out and about a lot. So one of my staple meals throughout the week is a gas station hot dog.
Okay.
When you pick up off the rollers, and again, sesame seed bun. But at the gas station, mustard, relish, tomato on top.
Okay.
And it's awesome every time.
I don't think I've ever had a gas station hot dog. I think it's been pretty much
they're off the rollers.
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I just never had one. Yeah,
they're good. They're good. And sometimes they'll have a Polish there, or they'll have like the jalapeno bratwurst there, that kind of thing. And I'll pick up one of those every once in a while, but just a straightforward gas station hot dog, damn good. But again, I'm no ketchup. I don't do ketchup there, but mustard, relish, and tomato.
Okay.
So I worked at a place when I was 16 that was owned by a former general manager of Portillo's. It's a place called Pedigrees in Naperville. And that was where I first learned of the Chicago style hot dog. So
I didn't know what a Chicago style hot dog was until I guess late in life, because I've never been a ketchup, mustard, anything on my I've always been a plain hot dog person.
Sure. And
so it wasn't like a thing for me. And we didn't, at least in my family growing up, it wasn't like a thing that we would do. But
right.
I'm a plain, and now I think it's my wife introduced me to just raw onions on it. I was
okay.
Like, I kind of dig that. I could do that.
Sure.
But if you were to say like a cheese dog, I'm like, no, not interested. Chili dog, not interested. If the hot dog is good enough, it doesn't need anything else.
I hear you.
That's how I feel.
A true Chicago style hot dog, when we made them at my job, was mustard, relish, onions, cucumber, tomato, celery salt, a pickle spear, and 2 sport peppers.
Yep.
I mean, this thing was loaded. But yeah, I lean more towards you. Sometimes I need stuff on it, but yeah, if I'm at the ball game or nothing, plain.
I just find it's easier.
Plain. Yeah, it's easier to manage that way too.
It is. And plus the other thing too is it's a lot easier, I find, to order something plain, because I think there's less of a chance of the order getting screwed up. If you say, let's say let's say you go to McDonald's, right? And you order a cheeseburger and it comes with ketchup, mayo, pickles, and onions. And let's say you only want 1 or 2 of those things. I have had a very poor track record of getting an order right. Yeah. Where it's a lot easier to say, just give me it to be plain. And then it's just cheese and burger and that's it. Or only onions. Like it's super easy. And it's part of it is fear that they just won't get it right. Oh, and they also had Malort, by the way. There.
They had Malort?
They had Malort.
Have you ever had that stuff?
I've never had it, but it was there. It was present.
It is god awful.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing, right? Like, I don't understand why you would want to drink it, but
I had it one time and it was god awful. Oh my Lord. It was so bad.
Okay. Well, I'll vicariously through you. I don't need to try it.
Yeah, no, you don't. Trust me, you don't. I hope that food truck returns, and I hope
I'm sure it will.
Yeah, and I hope next time they're better prepared for you, because sounds like you really missed out, unfortunately.
We'll give another shot. Like I said, the hot dog was good. At that point I had, my wife was like, hey, Italian beef. I'm like, yeah, you know what? It's been a while. Haven't had that in a long time. Let's go do it. And I get there and it be 2 hours in and we're out of it. It was like,
yeah. Oh,
we sat there like kind of dumbfounded for a second. Like, what do you mean you're out? Like,
yeah.
Been 2 hours. Like, what? Is there?
Yeah.
Give me a hot dog, I guess.
I love Italian beef. We sometimes, Michelle, go to Portillo's and get like the beef you can take home, because you can buy like a pound of it, with the gravy and all that kind of stuff. And she'll get it's kind of an odd combo, but it's awesome. So you guys have Jimmy John's down there? I'm sure you do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
we got one in our airport now.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nice. We're getting there. Asheville's getting there.
Yeah, there's 2 Jimmy John's I know of, and one of them is in the airport.
Hey, cool. So at Jimmy John's, you can buy loaves of the day-old bread, like the bread that was made yesterday. They'll sell it the next day because they, their thing is, we use fresh bread every day. Well, you can buy day-old bread for like 50 cents a loaf there. At least it used to be 50. They may have jacked that price up too. I don't know. Mm. But so we used to get, or we'll sometimes get, the Portillo's beef and use the Jimmy John's day-old bread on it. Phenomenal combo.
That's got to be good, because the Jimmy John bread is damn good.
It is good. I think it's better than Subway. So the sub places, what the 3 big ones for us up here are Jimmy John's, Subway, and Jersey Mike's.
Yeah, same here.
You guys have all 3 of those? Okay.
Yep.
A Subway for me is like number 3. I'll eat it, but I think Jimmy John's and Jersey Mike's are far and away better than Subway. Yeah. So
I'm with you on that one. And you know what? Come at me, bro. If anybody thinks different, like, that's a hill. You and I we'll go back to back, and we'll kick people off the mountain for that one.
That's right. Yeah, we'll die on that hill, baby.
Yep.
So
I'm with you on that. I think I would rank. Yeah, Subway is probably the least. Jersey Mike and Jimmy John. I like Jimmy John's. They got good shit. Although I do like a Jersey Mike's Philly. They make a damn good Philly.
Yes. And any sub you get is, if you do it Mike's way, with the oil and vinegar and the pepper and the oregano on it, really good.
Yeah, I'm not an oil and vinegar again. I don't like a wet sandwich.
You're not a Mike's way. You don't do a Mike's way, huh?
No.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. But it's good. I'm just telling you, it's good. But yes, I second the fact that a Jersey Mike's Philly is excellent.
Yeah. So I could get that tomorrow. It sounds good, actually. I'm hungry.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but we had a food truck today at New Belgium. It was Outpost, and they make really good chicken and like wings and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so they have like this thing called tiger wings that are just darn good. We got tenders this time, but
nice.
Another food truck scene here it's a thing. It's like there's probably a dozen of them rotating through all the different breweries throughout the weeks, and it sounds so weird, but it's like, yeah, I'll go to a food truck, order food, and then take it home for dinner. Like, not even go like there to eat it. Like it's actually a legit real thing here.
Food trucks you're starting to see more and more of them here. And what's interesting is it's like the actual businesses are now having their own food trucks that they're sending out and things like that. And it's it's so funny that it's like 2 subdivisions over, there's a guy who has a food truck in his front yard. And he said he's got a couple of picnic tables set up in his front yard, and every night he's open for business.
Really?
Yeah. And it's like in the middle of the neighborhood.
Like a zoning thing would be a problem.
I thought
HOA's
so too.
Not gonna like that.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean it's at a pretty major intersection. But yeah, I mean every night you drive by there, I pass by there quite often, and there's at least 2 or 3 different sets of people sitting at the tables every night.
Wrong with that.
So yeah, he's got a nice little business right in his front yard. Which, I mean, the truck is like parked on the side of his house. That's not in front of the house. And then he's got the picnic tables, then his driveway, and then his house. It's like, how sweet is that, man?
That's the way you do it. So what my wife wants to do for a food truck is a charcuterie truck.
Okay.
And have like meats and cheeses and little crackers and breads and stuff that you can kind of take, Lunchables for adults is kind of what I'll call it. But we haven't seen one of those as a charcuterie style truck.
Well, it's funny because you used to think food trucks, you would think, okay, they're burritos or they're tacos or they're burgers and hot dogs. Now you can get a food truck for just about anything.
Oh, anything. And
we have a lady in our community who she's one of those busybody. She's a single mom and just likes to be involved in everything and blah, blah, blah. And I kind of make fun of the fact that she's like this, but she does. It's so bad. I know, but she does like schedule food trucks to come into our neighborhood throughout the summer. And they do very well here. Like people line up and, it's Friday night or it's Wednesday night. And it's like, it's almost like chasing the ice cream man around, but instead it's a food truck, and you see this line of people and it's there until either the time's up or they run out. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. And she gets all kinds of different things to come, which is interesting. So
yeah, there's a strong variety here too. So I want to say there's probably, like I said, 20 or so that constantly are rotating in and around. You can get everything from burgers, like I said, hot dogs, coffee, pizza. There's a vegan one, chicken. There's a Cuban one. What's funny is I think there's only one Mexican food one. Everything else is like different stuff. It's kind of out there. Middle Eastern food truck.
We have one of those around here. Okay.
Yeah, barbecue, Mediterranean. There's just a variety of stuff that you can get.
Some of the best food is made in either food trucks or these little small hole in the wall places that you'll ever have. I am convinced of that.
The best breakfast sandwich in this area, it's a breakfast burrito, I should say, is from a place called Sandhill Kitchen in a gas station.
Yeah.
And they're only open like, I don't know, 7 a.m. to like 2 p.m. or something like that.
Sure.
And it's literally inside of a gas station. You go in the gas station, and instead of paying for your gas or getting into the convenience items, is you turn left and there's a counter there, and they have this menu, and they have the best breakfast burrito in town, and they also have one of the best fried chicken sandwiches in town.
Okay.
And it's just nonstop, people all day long going in and getting stuff.
You're starting to see more and more of that here. Is the restaurants or takeout spots in the gas stations? Oh yeah,
yeah. Like that wasn't a thing when I moved, and it was like. The restaurant down the street, the local joint by our house. Again, it's a restaurant connected to a gas station.
Yeah.
Now it's a Greasy Spoon, not my wife's favorite, but they have amazing pancakes. So I'm like, yeah, let's go. But that's like a thing here is like, I don't know what it is, just kind of further south you get, but food options inside of a gas station are like a thing. It took a while for my head to get that.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, the business model, I mean, they get traffic all day long. And I know some of the gas stations, they offer sandwiches and they offer, like gas station hot dogs and stuff like that. But a lot of this, we have a lot of Mexican places where you get taco, you get burrito, you get whatever. We're starting to see a lot of Dunkin' Donuts in gas stations. We see there's a concept called crispy crunchy chicken that's in some of the gas stations where you can get chicken sandwiches, tenders, all that stuff. So yeah, it's definitely a thing here. There is a concept that has I feel like it's taken over the Chicago suburbs, and it's called gas and wash. It is monster gas station. Obviously the car wash, it's got a full, it's like Joshua's competitor. It's got a full self-detail center. If you want to, vacuum out your car and, it's got the air compressor guns and all that stuff and cleaners and all that. But inside is where you've got the full deli. You've got a liquor store or liquor department. You've got, the gas station hot dogs and then the tamales and all that stuff. Or you've got the restaurant that's in there where you can buy burritos, or the one right by us has a Jimmy John's in it. So you can get your Jimmy John's there if you want to. There's also Dunkin' Donuts in there, and that place is and it's packed all day. And they were so smart because it's right across the street from the local high school. So they just get bombarded every afternoon and morning from the high school kids.
It's a good location. So, we can pull that off.
Yeah.
They've got to figure out how to keep traffic flowing though, because what I don't want is people hogging my gas stations pumps while they're waiting for food. Like, that's not what you want.
No. Well, they've done a much better job with providing a ton of parking. They don't just have like the 6 spots in front. They've got a whole slew of spots either on the side or behind the building. And they all have like slot machines, like for gambling. Like, I think it's the law around here is, I think you can have 6 machines in your establishment. So it has all that too. So. Okay.
That's the one thing I don't see here is gambling. I think it's only on Indian reservation or something else around here, but it's not everywhere. I remember seeing it. It's like everywhere now in Chicago. Yeah,
Plainfield just approved it, I think, within the last year. They were one of the last or the most recent suburbs to approve it. But
great way to get income for the state or the municipality.
The revenue is unbelievable because it's public knowledge. You can look them up, and it's like, there's this one, I looked it up just out of curiosity. There's one gas station not far off of I-80 that rolls in like $3 million a month in revenue from strictly gambling. I know. So these gas and washes, there are like 50 of them all around Chicago. Like from my house, I can get to 3 different gas and washes in under 7 minutes.
Everything you need for your vehicle. That's the thing. You start your day or end your day.
One stop shop, man.
Yep.
And no matter, and it's funny, is no matter which direction I got to go, it's there.
See, that's the convenience factor of it.
Yeah. So
now if they add some EV chargers to those, then you'd be all set.
That they don't have, which that's
a missed opportunity.
Which I'm kind of surprised, to be totally honest.
It's a missed opportunity. There's a chain down here called Sheetz, and I think Buc-ee's is another big one that people might have heard around. But Sheetz is kind of like a gas station / Subway, like sandwich type place.
Yeah.
And so they're like up and down 40 and all kinds of things in North Carolina, and I'm sure other places too. But they have, every single one of them has EV charging as well.
Okay.
Which is super convenient because they're on the highway. And so it's super easy to go east-west across North Carolina because every Sheetz has EV chargers and the full gas station kind of experience along with like a sandwich shop.
Sure. Yeah, and maybe it's because I don't need it, but I rarely notice EV chargers and where
they're usually tucked away in a back corner somewhere. Like
yeah,
they're there. You just, like I said, you're not.
Yeah, I'm not looking for them, but
Walmart's, Myers, and
I see them at Targets a lot.
Targets is starting to put them there, and then do you guys have Woodman's down where you're at? Is that too far north?
There's a Woodman's in Batavia, and I know they're actually building a Woodman's here in Plainfield. It's probably within the next year.
Yeah, cool little, they're kind of big grocery stores. They tend to have Tesla chargers as well.
Okay.
Which, I mean, makes sense. People need something to do for the 20 minutes that they're sitting there charging.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. How long does it, I don't even know. How long does it take to charge a car from start to finish?
I mean, it depends on your starting charge level and what your destination charge level is. Every car will charge pretty quickly between 10% and 80%.
Okay.
That is usually like a 20-minute affair. It gets progressively slower from 80 to 90% and then 90 to 100%. And you can spend the same amount of time charging just from 90 to 100 as you did from 10 to 80. Really? Every car is a little bit different, the voltage, architecture, etc. But for most people, you sit there and you charge for 20 minutes and you probably just got another 150 to 200 miles of range.
Okay.
And like I said, cars are some charge faster, some slower, etc. But
Sure.
yeah, usually get a couple 100 miles in 20 minutes, 100 miles in 10 minutes, that kind of thing. That's how you can, when you go on a road trip, you can kind of pick, your poison. Do you want to stop and charge for longer, or have multiple stops and charge shorter? I tend to do it based on my distance. So I'll drive for maybe an hour and a half, stop, plug in, run inside, and their chargers are usually by something. So like I'll run inside, get a beverage, go to the bathroom, come back out, and then unplug. It's usually been 10 minutes at that point, and I've gotten plenty of range.
Okay.
So yeah, it's relatively convenient. It's not as fast as gas. Fill up your entire thing. It's just a different mindset. But it's getting faster all the time, and it's getting more prevalent and quicker. So more range, more chargers, and faster charging batteries are all things that are all happening at the same time.
Sure. Well, it's like anything else, right? It means technology, it just gets better and better.
This is the worst it'll ever be. It'll just keep getting better from here. And sometimes it'll move quickly and sometimes it'll move slowly, but it'll get better. Like I said, I would not buy an EV unless you could charge at home on a level 2 charger, which is like a wired up, kind of plug it in. It's like basically 250, a 250 or 240 not watt system, 50 amp. Sorry, 50 amp system is what I would go. You can get it down to 32, 48. That's fine. You get about 30 miles an hour when you're charging at that. So it's a lot slower than a fast charger, like out in the wild. But it's not supposed to be a fast charger. You plug it in, go to sleep, wake back up, you have a full battery.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like charging your phone overnight, right?
Exactly.
Or your watch.
That's exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
So I told you that we are witnessing, take it back to sports for a minute, a historic baseball season in one aspect. Something is going to happen that has never happened before. Okay. So Cal Raleigh, I don't know if you've ever heard that name.
He's a home run leader.
He's the home run leader. He's also a catcher. He had his 45th home run of the season today. Okay. There's never been a catcher who's hit 50 home runs in a season, ever. There's roughly somewhere between 40 and 50 games left in this season. The most home runs ever by a catcher in a season is 48. Raleigh tied Johnny Bench for the second most with 45 today. So most likely he's going to become the first catcher to ever hit 50 home runs in the history of baseball. He is also the guy who won the home run derby this year, which is rare that the home run derby guy winner is the home run champion for the season. So that doesn't happen very often. I just think it's kind of cool that this guy, even with all the home runs he's hit and everything, I think it's probably because he plays in Seattle and not a lot of people get to see him because he's on the West Coast and the games are late and all that kind of stuff. He's done this in what they call it, relative obscurity, kind of flying under the radar. But 45 home runs, 3 away from the record for a catcher. I just think it's pretty cool. Again, I know you probably don't care, but I just thought I'd bring it up because it's again, with baseball and pretty much with any sport, you could always witness something historic and you never know when it's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
And if there's a stat I like, it's home runs.
That's right.
And the catcher doing it, that does surprise me. I mean, I think of who are some other power hitting catchers that went out there? The only one that comes to mind for me is was it Ivan Rodriguez, a catcher?
He hit a lot of home runs. Pudge, Mike Piazza for the Dodgers for a long time. The guy who has the record, Salvador Perez, still plays for the Kansas City Royals. So the 48 home runs that he hit wasn't all that long ago.
And I've never heard of him.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Johnny Bench, I'm sure you've heard that name.
Yep.
Played for the Reds in the 70s and early 80s. Probably regarded as the greatest catcher to ever play. Catchers aren't known for their hitting all that much. They're known for their defense and that's why they're on the team and, catch and stuff. So, and Raleigh is a switch hitter too. So it's not like he's, doing this just left-handed or right-handed. He bit, switch hits and all that kind of stuff. So pretty cool that you're seeing this, happen.
Another slugger with a really shitty average, 247.
I know, right? Real quick, Cubs are struggling. I don't know what they did today, but the Brewers have just come out of nowhere and are just torching not just the Cubs, but the National League. I think they've got the Brewers suddenly have like a 5-game lead on the Cubs, and it happened relatively quickly. So the Cubs are kind of hitting the dog days of summer. They kind of need to reel it in a little bit and get back together.
6 games back now. Brewers have a 6-game lead.
6. Well, that means the Cubs lost tonight.
Were they playing the Cardinals?
They're playing the Cardinals on Sunday Night Baseball. Because I know the Brewers won today. The White Sox went through a 6-game skid, losing streak, but their young guys continue to play hard. Colson Montgomery, who didn't get called up until just before the All-Star break, hit his 9th home run today, went 452 feet onto the concourse, the longest home run hit in the rate this year. I think they've got a star in this guy. It might take another year or two, but Colson is going to be exactly what they need and a guy they could definitely build around. So that's exciting to see for the Sox. But you hit a ball
to go to that stadium.
Yeah, you hit a ball to the concourse, you have torched it, if you know what I'm saying.
That's always. Yeah, so, that's a big park too.
And as far as catchers hitting, for the record, Kyle Schwarber came up as a catcher. And then the Cubs decided to put him in the outfield.
Pay him.
Yeah, that's a huge. He'll always be the one that got away.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is he's a free agent at the end of the year, so it'd be interesting if I don't think the Phillies are going to let him get away, because he still has probably another 4 or 5 good seasons left in him, and I think we talked about it that he'll probably reach the 500 homer mark, and they'll probably get him into the Hall of Fame at some point. It would just be too bad if there was an opportunity for the Cubs to bring him back and they don't do it. But I don't think they don't have the money. They won't have the money to invest that into a DH. The Phillies will make sure that they have the money, but the Cubs, I mean, the Cubs have the money. Like, they could pay whoever the hell they wanted to, really.
Any team could if they wanted to, but they're not.
Yeah, but the Cubs
not Dodgers. Yeah.
No, they just defer the money. They prefer to play. They prefer to play it, or they prefer to pay it later, as I'm trying to spit out. So, but yeah, there's your baseball snippet for you.
I said it before. Like it seems like Chicago are the masters of getting all Chicago sports teams are the masters at getting players past their prime that were really good, and then the veterans that come in with like 1 year, 2 years left, and they're just not as good as they used to be.
Yeah, maybe for next week I'll come up with a list, but the White Sox are the kings of that. So yeah, I'll put together a list of either Hall of Fame or well-known players that either finished their career or played with the Sox well past their prime.
All right. Do we have any listeners of the week? Now that we've waited till 2 hours to announce it, if any. If we don't, we don't. You got to earn it. We don't hand out participation trophies.
Okay, I'm not saying this because I'm his dad, but I got to give it to my son Joshua, who completed, I want to say it was 10 car details this week. And today he power washed a house as a special request.
All right. So Josh, if you're listening,
so I'll give it to him.
The official FOJ show listener of the week.
Yes. Great job, Joshua. He's been working very hard to get his company rolling.
Go get that nut.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I'm very proud of him. So it's been good. And and while we're on the subject, and we'll kill it in a minute here. Let's see. Jeremy's 2 weeks in at Enterprise. Job's going well, so that's good. And my son, oldest, Justin, that we've had on the show a couple times, is moving over out of recruiting to the sales side of his business in a couple of weeks. And he's going to be working he'll be like the contact for the government company. Was it Raytheon? Have you ever heard of Raytheon?
Oh, yeah.
He will be the contact for Beacon Hill, Colorado for Raytheon, which will, and Raytheon apparently hasn't had a rep for Beacon Hill in like 10 years. So he's taking this over. I think it's like August 25th or something like that. So
they call him and they say, we're looking for this type of talent or whatever person.
We're looking for this.
Go find it.
For this. Yeah. Go find it for us. So he's excited to see the sales side of his business. So that'll be good.
Good. This is my last week at home before I get into like travel every week for like 2 months straight, I think. I've spent the last month at home, and this is my last week here. And then I go to, where am I going next week? New York.
Okay.
And then put my list, because I honestly, I don't know where I'm going after that, but I know I'm going to be in San Jose at the end of August for like
I love that area. West Coast, California. Oh man, yes.
Yeah, California is pretty sweet. So yeah, New York, San Jose. I think I might go to Orlando, or no, not Orlando, Naples or something before that. But I'll be in Chicago, but downtown Chicago just for a couple days. And then where do I go after that? Philly, and then Austin, and then I think back to Orlando, and then Washington, D.C., and then Texas again. Grapevine area.
Nice.
So I got a lot going on here starting next week, which is good. I need to be on the road. I get too antsy sitting at home for the last month. Like, all right, like I haven't seen in the inside of an airport in a while.
I gotta. You made me laugh today. You made me laugh when our buddy Jeff was was all.
I was just making a joke.
I thought it was hilarious. He was talking about how 1 year ago this weekend we were all in Dallas, and was kind of honestly was the birth of this podcast, if I'm not mistaken.
It was like, let's just do it.
Yeah, but he was talking about how great it was, and you're like, yeah, man, we were all there.
We know we did it. I mean,
we did it.
Right. Hey, I sent a GIF of of horses and horsemen kind of riding stuff like that. But yeah,
so funny.
Yeah. Well, we got to get Cruz on, and Chad.
We do.
We're open for it, but yeah.
We do.
Yeah,
I know. I'm kind of surprised they haven't yet, to be honest with you. Although I don't know about you, I haven't really put forth enough effort.
I haven't put any effort at all. Chad texted me earlier this week. He's like, "What was the name of the game you played?" It was some sort of like RTS, real time strategy game. It was kind of a command and conquer game. I just sent it that Total Annihilation. He's like, "Yep, thanks." That was our entire conversation.
That's so Chad. He's so random.
Yeah. That's just how we are, though.
Oh yeah, no, it's all good. Too funny.
All right, it's 11:15 on the East Coast, and
you're done talking to me.
I'm done. I'm done with you. Scram. Money's on the dresser.
Like it.
All right, dude. I will talk to you.
All right, man. I'll see you later.
All right. See ya.
See ya.